Hi guys, based upon a lot of positive feedback I got yesterday, I decided to actually release a beta version of this mod. Now it is in a very beta phase, it's really quite simple at the moment, but I thought it might be useful if you guys actually try it and give me a far more hands-on feedback. So the features that I decided to leave and keep in this, as you can see, the heads-up display completely empty, and I decided to keep the compass reacting when I sprint or when I use any stamina using ability. So if I sprint, there's the compass, and that will fade in a few seconds. So I decided to keep that. I also decided to keep the reactive crosshair that occurs when I draw an arrow. So as you see, no crosshair now. I draw an arrow, and there's my crosshair. And when I put the bow away, well, actually when I finish firing the shot, after a few seconds that crosshair will disappear. I also decided to activate the crosshair when using spells. Now I cannot figure out which spell you're using. There's no way to do that at the moment. I'm still going to look into finding a way. But as soon as I start casting a spell now, you can see the crosshair appeared. Now, this is actually Oak Flesh spell because my character is not a mage. But as you can imagine, if this was an Ice Spike or something, you now have a crosshair on which to fire. It's not as useful for things like the Flame spell because it's pretty much dead easy to aim anyway. But maybe for the more sniper-based spells, that is kind of useful. And of course the crosshair appears the second you start powering up the spell because you're using magicka. The second your magicka goes below 100%, the crosshair will appear. Once the magicka gets back to 100%, the crosshair will disappear again once it fades. So if I speed that up a little bit, give myself the magicka. In a second or so the magicka will fade away, and so will the crosshair. Now the compass is gone, but if I select a shout, unrelenting force is fine. The shout meter is still visible, even without the compass. The shout meter is still visible, even without the compass. I decided to not hide the stealth meter, so the stealth meter still activates. I originally hid it, but I got a little bit of negative feedback on that one. Eventually, in the full version, I'm going to find some options to hide it if you wish. But for now, the stealth meter is back. And that's about it. There is still the option to put it in, turn those things off completely. So if I disable the crosshair, now when I sprint, still no compass, and when I cast spells, still no crosshair. So if I turn the crosshair off, it actually turns the crosshair and the compass off completely. Now, because a few people requested different versions of this, I'm actually shipping 3 different versions for the beta. The first one is this, where the crosshair and the compass both react. The second one is the same as this for the crosshair, but the compass is always visible. So for people who just really like the compass anyway and always want it visible, especially when riding your horse, because unfortunately by default, as soon as I start riding my horse now, my compass will disappear. For those of you who like your compass, there's a version now that always has the compass. And for people who really hate the compass, I've also added a version that has no compass whatsoever. It's completely removed the compass, but it has the reactive crosshair. But it also has the shout meter. So although you've got your compass removed, your shout meter is still there. So hopefully you'll find that useful. And that's it. I will also show you how to install that. Now, at the time of making this video, I have not uploaded the file, so I can't show you downloading it, but it will be downloaded via the Download with Manager button. So click the Download with Manager button on the page, and it will download the mod and you will get the Skyrim Immersive HUD, iHUD mod package here in your mods tab. Activate it and you will get a nice little menu like so. The default is the reactive crosshair and the reactive compass. That's the one I showed you. And as I mentioned, there is a version with just the reactive crosshair and a normal compass, and the reactive crosshair with the compass always off. Just select whichever one you want and hit install. It's that easy. And that's it. It's installed. Enjoy. Now, if for some reason you cannot use the Nexus Mod Manager, or you don't want to, you can install this manually. If you download the file and open it up, inside the downloaded archive you will find two folders: FOMod, which you can ignore, that's for the Mod Manager, and then Interface. What you're going to need to do is copy the hudmenu.swf into your game's data interface. So if I open my Skyrim data, this is my Skyrim data folder, and there's a folder called Interface. You need to copy the hudmenu.swf into that folder. If you want the version, for example, with a compass, so let me just remove this, with the compass off, for example, you need to extract this, copy it to this folder, and rename it to hudmenu.swf. And that's it, it's installed. Now remember, it is a beta product, so I am looking for feedback, so leave comments here or in the page downloaded it from. I am working on the next mod sanctuary right now, so if you're waiting for that, don't worry, it will be out this weekend. And I hope you join me for that. And until then, have fun.